deep. Canseco back to the track, looking up. It is off his head, it looked like. And over the top, a home run.
It's been a while since he's seen a hole that big. I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith. As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run.
And his ability to suck in these balls. And the 3-1. Popped up. Castillo. Dropped the ball! He dropped the ball! Here comes Teixeira! And the Yankees win! Oh my goodness!
Listen in as we tackle everything in the world of sports right now. Throw your hat in the ring at 516-572-7440. This is WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College 90.3 WHPC.
So, fun fact. Today is let me do some quick math, a 14-year anniversary of that last clip that played in the intro. Luis Castillo dropped the ball.
Classic.
14 years ago today.
Yeah.
The Mets
I still laugh every time.
Yeah. Listen.
He's like, perfect form, too. Just boink. What happened?
But, I mean, how do you drop that?
I don't understand. Listen, that was really the first time as a Mets fan I cried tears over the Mets. Now I've learned not to waste tears on them. But I fast forward 14 years later, we haven't had much better luck with the Mets. I'll say that for sure. But welcome to WHPC Sports Talk, the Monday edition, here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. It is Joshua Umahi, your host, joined by Nick Ordenberger. How are we doing today?
I'm alive. I'm very interested about a bunch of stuff going. I'm excited for a Subway Series, and I'm excited for another wonderful edition of this show. I'm ready to go.
All right. Jake, you ready to go? Jake Boyko, how are we doing?
Yes, sir. I'm doing good today. Subway Series tomorrow. I'll be there. Hopefully my Yankees could treat the series how it should be, like a scrimmage, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. Both teams limping into that one. We'll talk about it. Ross Levine, though, how we doing?
2 months away from football.
You're already looking forward to football?
Well, Saquon Barkley. I mean, that's not the best news.
Not at all.
It's not at all. Not
the best.
Yeah. Wait until the people hear this one. We're going to start with Saquon Barkley. We're also going to get to, obviously, the Yankees and Mets weekend series, dropping the rubber game, each team yesterday. The NBA Finals might end tonight, and we got some weekend recap stuff to get to. Before we start the show, though, you should know that the number is 516-572-7440. Join the show, talk to us, get your takes off. Let's get started. Saquon Barkley. So he spoke to the media at his youth football camp in Jersey City. I guess they just tracked him down and they were curious about, what's the deal with the contract? You got franchise tagged on March 8th for $10 million. You haven't signed it yet. So I guess the media was just curious, tracked him down at his, again, youth football camp, actually, and was like, what's good? And Saquon Barkley had a few concerning quotes. He confirmed that he won't report to mandatory minicamp for the New York Giants. And also, here's the big one. They asked him on the possibility of potentially sitting the coming season out, the 2023 season. Will he sit it out? Quote, I think that's a conversation. Not great. Not great if you're a Giants fan. So listening to that or reading that, how should Giants fans feel today? Because let me just state this and remind everybody of this. He's not just a running back of the New York Giants. This guy is the emotional leader, the locker room leader of the team. Like, this is a big deal for him not to be at minicamp. So, Jake, you're a Giants fan, I take it?
I'm not even going to say sadly because it was a positive year for one. So, yes, I am a Giants fan.
You
beat up on the Vikings.
Yeah, well, exactly. I'll take it, but
you saw 2 Super Bowls.
That's true. That's very true. I take it back. I'm a big Giants fan. I take it back.
Proud.
Yes, very proud.
I'm proud.
Daniel Jones is my quarterback. I'll take it. But listen, I mean, Saquon, Dalvin Cook's available. If Saquon doesn't want to, if he wants to sit out for the season, I understand he's the leader on and off the field, but you can't sit out the whole season, man. I'm sorry, but it just, as a running back, obviously, once again, he's Saquon Barkley. He's one of the best in the league, but it's just such a replaceable position. And by no means is Saquon Barkley that replaceable, But when you have other amazing running backs on the market like that, and Saquon wants to act this way, you got to start thinking about your other options.
That's an interesting take. I think that's. I take it you're a very like, all right, this isn't working out, let's move on type
exactly,
of guy.
and I love him to death. He's been the best Giants player for years now. But I mean, yeah, I understand it's a business too. But if you don't want to sign, just keep it moving.
Yeah.
How about you, Ross?
I mean, here's what I'm saying. He's definitely taking the gamble. I'll definitely say that because he's a running back. I mean, as good as he may be, he is still a running back. Let's not forget that. That's one of the most least important positions in the NFL. So,
well, I won't say least important. It's definitely least valued.
But you could win a Super Bowl though without a great running back.
That's true. That's true. But I mean,
that's all I'm saying is that you could win without him. Now, the issue is that Daniel Jones has not been able to do that historically. He has not been able to win without Saquon Barkley. That's a big time problem. Now, I will say there are some running backs out there. So if Barkley were to sit out for the season, there is a guy named Dalvin Cook that is out there. And that's a guy that I know he's been banged up. I know he's always hurt. But you got to get somebody, and that's a guy that they could possibly get.
See, Dalvin Cook is an interesting name to state here because obviously he was cut by the Vikings last week. And I don't know how much money he's looking for, but he's definitely a guy like if this Saquon thing turns ugly and he starts to really think about pulling a Le'Veon Bell, it's plenty of options out there for the Giants. Like we talk about, Saquon Barkley isn't the only one that hasn't signed this franchise tag. And Ross, you were talking about the least important position or the least value position, whatever you want to say. You got Josh Jacobs in Las Vegas.
Yep.
Who had a great season.
Beast.
Great season, mind you.
Beast.
Still hasn't signed his franchise tag because they don't want to give him long-term money. Tony Pollard, he's actually the only one that signed his franchise tag, but Barkley also said, and here's the interesting thing.
This is the most interesting.
Barkley says that the NFL GMs, front offices, owners, whatever you want to say, colluded to franchise tag himself, Saquon Barkley, Saquon tag Josh Jacobs of Las Vegas, franchise tag Tony Pollard of Dallas, to prevent them from hitting free agency and cap the salary at $10 million. Now, that least valued is important, what we said earlier, because some of the big money contracts that running backs have gotten, on my own team, the New Orleans Saints, Alvin Kamara got a huge deal. Christian McCaffrey got a huge deal from Carolina and then got traded. Yeah. Dalvin Cook, who just got cut from that deal. Like, these guys are making upwards of $14, $15, $16 million per year. So, and we're talking about it being the least important position. So I guess that NFL GMs are like, listen, the market's been set. It's similar to the Deshaun Watson thing from last offseason when you're talking about the Lamar Jackson. He wants that number, $230 million, fully guaranteed, that fully guaranteed stuff. NFL owners were like, yeah, Deshaun Watson might have gotten that money, but we're not going to let that be the market. There's no way that Lamar Jackson's going to get upwards of $230 fully guaranteed. Now, we're going to cut that off. We're going to collude to not let that happen. So I see I think there might be legs to what Saquon's saying.
Here's what bothers me about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is, number one, if he's right, you're right. It's collusion. Yep. Which is impossible to prove. We couldn't prove it.
Always impossible to prove.
We couldn't prove it when Colin Kaepernick suddenly couldn't get a quarterback job. Interestingly enough, right after he started kneeling at the national anthem, we couldn't prove it on multiple occasions. But
Nathan Peterman better than Colin Kaepernick.
We can't even prove that what's his name, Trump colluded with Ukraine. But that's a whole different. Collusion is literally the hardest crime to prove. Maybe in history.
Facts.
Maybe other than treason and sedition. My point being that you have a situation where three of the best running backs on the planet can't get at very least $18 million, $20 million deal because three of the biggest GMs in the NFL have decided, oh, no, we're just going to all simultaneously franchise tag them. It reeks of collusion. If he's right, it is collusion. They could sue, and none of them would ever play football again. Not a single one. Or you have the other option, which is they all pull a Le'Veon Bell and don't play for a year. And then what does your career look like after that?
Le'Veon's ain't look so hot after he did that.
So I understand where Saquon's coming from. You mentioned him, Jake. You is it?
Jake.
Sorry. I thought I forgot. I got it right, everybody.
There you go. That's all that matters.
Jake, you mentioned him as the best player on this team last year. I don't think there's a soul out there who would say that's not the truth.
For sure.
So why isn't he being paid like the best player? It certainly wasn't Daniel Jones, but suddenly he has a $40 million contract, interestingly enough. And Ross, you say it's the least most important position on the field, but at the same time, none of Daniel Jones's, let's say his ability would have been possible if they weren't able to mishmash some run and gun with the Giants. So
I mean,
they're trying to undervalue him, and it appears that this is not just an instance where, who got Orlando Brown for the Chiefs got franchised last year. Had nothing to do with the fact that, we're trying to bury the left tackle market. That's a huge market. People want to pay left tackles, but they franchised them because that was the only way they could pay him. So he dealt with it for a year. That's all the franchise tag was supposed to be. Now you see 3 or 4 running backs getting tagged, and they're getting screwed out of millions of dollars when their best years are right now. I think Barkley's got a point here.
I just go by like the history of Saquon Barkley, and like it's never really been his ability. That's never really going to be the issue for Saquon Barkley. It's him staying on the field. He's had injury history almost every single year, aside from last year. I mean, last year he had a little bit of that shoulder injury, but he played through it. I'll give him credit. But all I'll say though is that if Saquon Barkley's not playing for the New York Giants Week 1, we could be in trouble.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
We're in trouble. Yeah.
And my question is Saquon Barkley so important to your team that if he's not there Week 1 that your season is in jeopardy? Because if that's the case, then pay him like that's the case.
Yeah, I thought when they paid Daniel Jones, I think they did send a message there as well. Because as much as I think Jones did improve last year, Saquon Barkley was a huge reason for why that was the case. So they paid Daniel Jones probably a little bit of an overpay, but again, that's the NFL. That's what the quarterbacks are now. Mm-hmm. So I'll say this: if Saquon Barkley, you knew was going to get a little bit underpaid once that happened.
Obviously.
So even though I may not agree with it, like listen, when they gave Jones that money, I liked the fact that you can get out of it after 2 years, but in terms of the money per year, not a huge fan of it.
Right, and I think that's all he's trying to say. He's like, I'm not looking to break he said this, I'm not looking to break contract records. I'm not. I'm looking for a respectful contract that illustrates what I'm worth in this league, and this ain't it.
So here's what's interesting, because it's not like the Giants have just flat out refused to pay him upwards of that magic number, $12 million. They did offer him an extension in season in November, I believe, for around that number. So he turned it down because he was having a great season, great start to the season. He didn't want to just cap himself at that. Then he earned himself more money with that playoff performance and his performance in the second half of the season. So, listen, this is a guy that, after his great rookie season, immediately dealt with injuries, and people were saying, he's a bust. The Giants should have taken a quarterback. They shouldn't have taken a running back number 2 overall. He's a bust, all this stuff. People were saying his career might be over because he was hurt like 3 straight seasons. He finally comes back this season, has a great year, turns down an extension, like I said, and now you're looking at it. If you're him, he's dug into like, all right, great season last year, but I had dealt with injuries before.
Yeah.
If I didn't have the year I had last season, my future, like financial future in terms of getting another like second big contract, it was in jeopardy. So he's not taking anything for granted right now, and I get that, but that also works against him because the Giants are looking at it like, yeah, great season, but the injuries. It's number one. How do we know that you're not going to revert back to, dealing with injuries throughout the season, having an injury-riddled guy as your running back.
And, this is, I think, the biggest thing to it, and we haven't said, I'll say it. The Giants did not draft this guy. Like, this regime did not draft him. Dave Gettleman did. Now, you can say Dave Gettleman was forced by John Mara, but he drafted him. So I got to go by that. Joe Schoen did not draft him. So that's a big thing here. And usually when a new GM comes in, because remember, this is only year 2, they're going to want their own people in. And we've seen they had no problem trading Kadarius Toney, and that wasn't their guy. Now, Toney didn't play because, he was technically, I guess, hurt. I don't think he was. But,
Kenny Galladay 2.0.
Yeah, so he didn't he didn't bring these guys in, and he let these guys go. So he's not afraid of letting guys go that fans may like. And Barkley is a player that a lot of fans like, and this would not surprise me if this gets ugly. I'm just going to say it right now, it would not shock me.
I'm just going to ask you very, very politely, because I'm about to blow my top. Do you really think him, Dave Ziegler, and Jerry Jones, there's any chance that there wasn't a corroboration of these efforts to make sure that these guys don't get paid? Please.
I'm just again, all I'm going by is just it's not their guy. I'm not saying they're wrong or they're right. It's not their guy. Based off of just history of watching any sport you watch, they're going to want their own people. That's just the facts. I hate saying it, but that's what it is. And listen, Barkley, if most people did not like that pick. Most people did not like that.
I didn't like the pick. The fact that they wasted on him instead of Josh Allen is still blowing my mind.
Yeah.
They could have had Josh. That was the same draft, right? Josh Allen was like,
right, they could have drafted him.
They could have had him. And this wouldn't even be a discussion. It would be the Jets stinking and Josh Allen and the Giants giving people problems in the NFC instead of my Chiefs. I wanted that to happen, but it didn't happen. My point is, I cannot believe that. I'm sorry. What do they say? It's like 1, whatever, 2 is a coincidence, 3 is a conspiracy. Mm-hmm. These are the 3 best running backs in the league, or 3 of them that were up for free agency this year, and they all got slapped with a franchise tag. This is a communicative effort. I believe he's right, and I believe he's backed into a wall, and he's using the only medium that he knows he can not get himself in trouble with. Because, as I said, if he sues them, he's done. He'll never play again.
Yeah, we'll make sure.
So he's using the media. He's using the media to create a stir, and good for him. Use what you have at your disposal. Use your ammo.
I see what Ross is saying because, in terms of it getting ugly between Saquon and the Giants, because Saquon's clearly dug in. Like, this is a guy that's going to use every inch of the leverage he's got to his advantage. He has a decent amount of it, I'm not going to lie. He has the collusion claims, like Nick said, and it's funny, the NFL has a history of doing this, and it hasn't been proven yet, but we brought up Kaepernick and we brought up Deshaun Watson and the quarterback market after him, so there's a history of this, so I do believe what he's saying, and also, I'm going to say it again, he's the emotional leader. He's not just the star running back for the New York Giants. He is the emotional leader. He's the guy that guys in that locker room, including Daniel Jones, the highest paid on the team.
100%.
Right. He's the guy, Saquon, that they look to for leadership, for a word of encouragement, who's going to make a big play. You know it's going to be Saquon Barkley. So he has all that working for him, but the Giants are like, nope, you're running back. We're not going to pay you. We're not going to pay you $14 million per year.
They're deliberately undervaluing the running back position because other positions like cornerback, like wide receiver, left tackle, right tackle, quarterback, obviously, they're all getting more expensive. And as long as you have a system with a cap, this is what you're going to deal with.
No, 100%. That's 100% true. And I get it because historically, it's not like they're just wildly having an agenda against running backs. Because, like Ross said to start the show, rarely do you see a running back carry a team to a Super Bowl. It's usually the quarterback or usually the defense. You don't see guys like, I know Emmitt Smith won 3 of them.
Yes.
But Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin, it really blurs the lines a little bit. So, and I wouldn't say Emmitt Smith was carrying the team to those Super Bowls. It was really a collective
Troy
effort.
Aikman was an outstanding quarterback. There was plenty of playmakers on that team, but you can't, if you're asking me, you take Emmitt Smith off those teams, do they have 3 Super Bowls? I don't know. I honestly highly doubt it. He was a problem.
Yep.
But the thing is that was what, like 30 years ago around then?
You just wanted to stick it to Cowboys fans saying that. That's the only reason why you said that.
Yes, for sure, yes. But also, I just feel like the way that the NFL is now, first of all, the NFL, it's not a game, it's a business.
Yes, it is. And
the business as a whole is just evolving over the years and it's changing. And when you have someone who most of the time is injured, besides, obviously, yes, he had an amazing year last year. He's Saquon Barkley. He's the emotional leader. He's everything. But when you have someone who is so injury prone and you have other options available as free agents, it makes it very hard for the Giants to sign him to an $18 million deal, a $19 million deal, whatever it is. And I do see both sides of it, but I understand where the Giants are coming from and why it's so difficult for them to get a deal done here.
Do you think for 1 second, if Daniel Jones, how about this, non-throwing shoulder, had surgery this offseason, how much less do you think that deal's worth? Because I bet you they pay him top dollar no matter what.
Well, that's the thing too, because speaking on how the game is changing, quarterbacks are making everything now. They are the market. Like it's insane. So I feel like the Daniel Jones deal, I understand why people say he's overpaid, but I also feel like it's one of those things where the Giants were in a position where it was so tough to do anything else really that they kind of it's just how the game is now, and it's what quarterbacks make.
Cheers to that.
This is going to be really interesting to follow over the next couple weeks, next couple months, all the way leading up to the season with Barkley, because Saquon, by all accounts, model citizen, model teammate. Mm-hmm. Nobody ever has a problem with him going all the way back to Penn State. Exactly.
Sorry.
So, you had to. But
biggest quads in the league.
Facts. He posted a picture on Instagram. Like, I was like, damn, you in shape, bro.
It's crazy.
He's chiseled. Like,
in shape is an understatement.
You in shape.
I'm fairly certain he could play DN. That's how ripped that guy is. He is just such a... Oh, man. Anyway, he screwed me my first fantasy draft a few years ago. But other than that,
he won me my league this year, so I loved him extra.
Yo, if you took a late flyer on Saquon Barkley, you was eating the entire season.
Hey, listen.
You was eating.
When it comes to fantasy sports, I'm the GOAT. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah?
Yes.
All right,
I have yet to win one.
Really?
One league.
Really?
18 years of fantasy sports, never won one league.
Way.
Wow.
I must have had at least 50 tries at this in that time, different leagues.
No way.
Can't win.
It happens.
Can't win.
18 years?
18 years.
Gotta get one.
I always get in the playoffs. Oh, my playoff record is stellar. I get there, and then I make bad decisions. We don't need to do this right now.
We don't.
This is hurting my feelings.
I'll leave it at the fact that the past 3 years, I've been a champion.
I'm very proud of you.
Yo,
thank you.
Actually, I feel what Nick's saying, because I was playing fantasy football since 2013. I had never won a chip until actually the 2022 season. Drafted Cooper Kupp.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drafted him last year. How'd that go for me?
Oh, man. I
Gets
introduced
hurt.
you.
At least you didn't take Jonathan Taylor.
No.
That was, oh my goodness.
And I made the mistake of drafting OBJ. Not drafting, but picking up
with the waiver wire, yeah.
Because I was thinking okay, he's going to come back any day now before the playoffs, and he never did.
I had the same exact mindset.
Anyway.
Nick, I hate to do this to you, but no chips in 18 years.
18 years, no
That's
chips.
rough. That's rough.
Come on, man.
Come on.
No, I'm sorry. I had to do it to you.
I have never won a championship. I am sick of this.
Oh,
have you been in the finals?
I've been in the finals.
Okay.
3 times finals.
Okay.
Never, but dropped it every time.
Chris Paul of fantasy football. Bro.
Yo.
I am.
Crazy.
Oh my God, I'm Chris Paul. Holy moly. I'm Charles Barkley. I'm Chris Paul. I can't get it. I'm John Stockton over here. Jeez.
You don't really want to be John Stockton.
I do. He's
he's a little weirdo off the court, but
he was nice with them.
He was.
I only made it to 1 finals.
Really?
I would admit, yeah.
So you know football.
In how many years, though? In how many years?
Well, I haven't done it very long.
Gotcha. See, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
We should start a WHPC.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We should do that.
I will beat all of you.
Yeah.
I will go undefeated.
I have a feeling that's true.
I will go undefeated.
I'm going to say something about that.
Yeah.
I promise you. Listen, for those that's listening in my league, like, y'all got away with one because I auto-drafted. This is the first year I ever auto-drafted.
Auto-draft is
and the
crazy.
first year I ever missed the championship.
That is such a bum excuse.
No,
That's such a bum excuse.
I agree, Nick. I agree.
Either be at the draft or don't be at the draft.
tired. I slept.
I can't.
That
I
doesn't,
can't.
that doesn't count.
You were
You
tired.
don't get to complain about. I don't complain about the ones that I auto drafted. There's like 4 or 5 of them.
Hey, all I know is it would have been a different story. But we don't got to talk about this right now. We got to switch gears.
All right.
We're going to move on from the Giants conversation, but if you want to join the conversation, we can circle back to it. 516-572-7440. But we are going to switch to the Yankees and Mets.
Oh God.
They both had rough weekends for different reasons. But before we get to that, though, you're listening to WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Joshua Umahi, Nick Ornberger, Jake Boyko, Ross Levine. Let's start with the Yankees. Yeah.
Where do you even start it? I mean,
I want to start with Gleyber Torres.
oh my! Don't even get me started.
That was a great era.
That was a
over our
joke.
last 10.
That was a joke.
Yeah, we need to speak on the Gleyber Torres experience, right? Because Saturday hits a big home run to get the scoring started. Like, okay, Gleyber's been a solid leadoff hitter for them this season. But that play in the field on Sunday, yesterday night, or last night was,
Shameful.
It was little league. It was a little league play. How do you just have your feet plant like move your feet, move to the ball?
Like, bro, you're not 50 years old. Just
It really.
I have a
it's-
7-year-old nephew could make that play.
It's a joke.
Absurd. Absolutely absurd.
And in a big game for the Yankees, it's the rival Red Sox. I know it don't have the same juice it used to, but come on, bro, play with a little more effort. And that play led to an unearned run that tied the game for the Red Sox. And they wound up losing in 10 innings. Like, that's a big mistake.
We win that series without that mistake.
100%.
And you look at it now, like, the Yankees are in trouble because they don't have Aaron Judge, and this was the fear. Without Aaron Judge, what are they going to look like? With Aaron Judge, they look like a powerhouse. I'm not going to lie to you, at least in the regular season. Because he does so much for that lineup, and he's great in the field. He's just a presence. But when he's out, I mean, you look at, I mean, you're wearing his jersey for some reason, Stanton.
I don't know why. I don't know why I am.
Stanton.
Yeah, for the record, why?
That's a great question. $500 million. I might as well just contribute to his contract for him to strike out. So,
Hey, man. He's not the only one, though. He's not the only culprit here because DJ LeMahieu, he's fallen off significantly.
which is so surprising.
Surprising. He's not the same player.
He's
got
not.
that money.
Yo,
For sure.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember him in Colorado. Like, this version of DJ LeMahieu, is a far cry from who he was in Colorado. And I know it's a Coors Field thing. It has something to do with it, I guess. But even when he started as a Yankee,
He was great.
he was great. Yeah, exactly.
Like, he was better than great.
In
He
the
was-
field and with the bat. And both look like a shell of himself right now. So he's another one. And you look at, I hate to get to Volpe because he's just a kid.
Yeah.
And it looks like he has big moments, but he just hasn't been able to put together that consistency. For this series lately, he's been a black hole at the bottom of that lineup. Let's call it for what it is. I hate to do it to the kid, but that's what it was.
Here's what he is. He's a kid that they rushed up to the major leagues. He clearly has the pop. I think he has that instinct in the big moment because that's when it seems to always come. But this is why I didn't want Anthony Volpe up this early. I didn't want him up this early because I wanted him to take more licks down to the AAA. I want him to come up maybe in a time when we need him. And a 189 batting average wouldn't be killing us. But it is right now because we don't have a Judge. We haven't had a Stanton. Since he's been back, he's been terrible. We still have to deal with Donaldson. We still have, look, there's still some good pieces here. Calhoun's been a nice surprise.
Yes.
100%. Bauer's been a nice surprise. But how long is this going to stay how it is?
We saw this with Matt Carpenter last year. It was great until it wasn't.
Right.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
you
That
can't
was fun, though.
expect-
Matt Carpenter was fun.
Yeah, he had the porn stash going. It was fun.
I think
he was a character.
I think
Fan
Volpe
favorite.
needed more time, but now you're in the crux where I don't think you can send him back down because he's got 9 home runs. He's probably on
Right,
track
it's too late
for
for that. He's
now you got to let him ride it out. And you're stuck there. And by the way, he's a phenomenal shortstop. He's not just good. He's very, very good at shortstop.
But they always, I feel like this is what happened when you talk about, not us, obviously, but they talk about, comparing him to Derek Jeter. This is what happened.
That's
But that's gone though. Didi had to deal with that, not Volpe.
I know, but that's the pressure what happens when you're a young kid. You come up through the system. I just hear it. It's not me. I never think this way, but they've done this. The Yankees going back for years of overvaluing the prospects, and that has hurt.
But is it they or is it the New York media that's doing it?
It's both.
I think it's both. I feel like the thing is, though, with Volpe, is obviously he had an insane spring training, so it makes it a little bit harder for them not to bring him out
he hit
away.
6 home runs,
but once again,
going off.
Once again, he went off in spring train. It's spring training. It's not real baseball. It's not real. So it's like, obviously he looked great, but it's just a whole different game when you go from Florida baseball to the real deal in the Bronx. So
no, you're right. You're right. And what bothers me most, but I guess what bothers me most about that comment, Ross, is it's like, all right, so does every center fielder, does Bader feel like, I got to be as good as Bernie every time he goes out to center field? Like, are we going to hold that standard? Or can we just let these kids be kids for a little while and then gradually bring them up? I thought this was too big a moment for him. But having said that, they're walking into a slaughterhouse right now. That's what I believe. I think they're walking into the Mets in a moment where the Mets absolutely need
desperate
a sweep, and we don't have the lineup to compete. We don't. I really don't think so. They still got Alonso.
No, Alonso's hurt.
Yeah, sorry. They still got a Lindor. And he's been terrible.
Yes.
Terrible. But he can still pop it off in a series if he wants to.
If he wants to. That's a big if. I don't think he does.
I said Alonso. Sorry, I meant Lindor.
No, I know. Lindor.
I'm sure he wants to. I'm sure Lindor wants to.
Yeah, I'm sure he
Imagine
wants
him
to.
sticking it to the Yankees,
Lindor,
just 4 home run series.
It wouldn't be the first time.
It would not be the first time.
And guess what? All Mets fans love him again. They're off his back for the next 3 weeks.
I can't. That guy is like the most. I know people say like that guy actually cares about winning. I really don't think he gives a crap. I'm sorry, I really don't. I don't look at him that way.
Lindor reminds me of Yoenis Cespedes. That's the first person that comes to my mind. It's the same person.
Well, because he smiles a lot. He's always smiling, Mr. Smile.
He gets paid everything.
He gets. That's why when he
doesn't play good.
Hey, when he goes to the bank, they call him Mr. Lindor, so he's good.
I wonder what they're going to put their lineup as tomorrow. Do you think Vogelback gets back in?
Oh yeah.
Don't get me started, man. Don't get me started.
Danny Berg.
Please don't get me started.
I'm a Dodgers fan.
A Dodgers fan?
Hey, listen, I'm there.
Dude.
I'm there. I'm serious. I really am.
If I see Vogel back in the lineup one more time, I might have to do it.
No. I want to hear. Who do you want batting tomorrow?
Oh.
Who do you want batting tomorrow to start the series up? Who do you want?
So who's going for the Yankees?
We don't know yet. I mean, the final lineup.
It's Severino.
Oh no! You're talking about the pitching rotation. Yeah. Severino's tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Who do you want?
Mets gonna win 10-0 with Sevy on the mound.
I swear to God,
it's so sad. It's like
but the Mets aren't beating anybody though. So like, why are you guys concerned?
Because it's Severino.
Exactly.
Okay. He's not good anymore.
I know he's not. But are the Mets lineup good?
No, but I'm telling you,
bad. Yankees
baseball, it's the most like predictable baseball. Like when they suck, they lose to the worst teams in the league.
Right.
No offense.
Hold on. I've been on record on this station saying, Mets fans, calm down. There's plenty of time for this to rectify itself.
Oh no, it's over.
And this might be the series to do it.
It's
to get yourself some start. Get yourself started.
Games,
I think this could be it. I want to hear from the lone Mets fan in the room, though. Who do you want? Who do you want in the front of the lineup right now?
Let me just say. Here's a wild idea, and I hope Buck Showalter is listening because people listen to our show. People in high places listen to WHPC Sports Talk. Buck, if you're listening, here's a wild concept. Here's a wild concept.
Hit me.
We have 2 good catchers, right?
Yes.
I think it's safe to say they're both better than Daniel Vogelbach.
Yeah, that's fair.
Why not just, not to quote Patrick from SpongeBob, but why don't we just put one at catcher... And one at DH.
And then bring it around town.
Bring it around.
Exactly.
That's it.
It's that simple. Get them both in the lineup. You don't have to choose one or the other.
Buck does not like people under the age of 35. He really doesn't. I hate to say it, but he doesn't. He would hate me. I'm just saying because I'm under 25.
Oh,
so
no.
he would hate me.
In that case, he would love me. Like, get out there, Ornberger.
Ross isn't wrong, though. He definitely, I've said this, an unconscious bias. I remember learning about that in the workplace. Unconscious bias towards older players. We see it with the way
a bias, no question.
We see it with the way he treats Vogelback, the way he treated Darren Ruff when he was here last year.
Yes.
By the way, Billy Epler.
Oh, he's worse.
I said this last week, and the Mets are 31-35. That's bad for the highest payroll in baseball. I always say it every show, but that's bad. And you go back to where it started. Where can you pinpoint where the Mets' struggles started?
Yeah.
What they had a great National League East leading team.
Right.
With Jacob deGrom on the way back, Scherzer dominating, Carrasco, Walker, Bassett contributing. Lineup was hitting on all cylinders.
Yep.
But this team just needed one more piece. But they tried to Costco coupon it. They went Vogelback, Ruff, Naquin.
Well,
that's not what you needed.
And even Steve Cohen realized. He said, we need one more big
After
bat
Correa
to put us
fell
over the
through.
top. Yep, and either Epler didn't listen or he just didn't. Okay, here's an example. He didn't look at J.D. Martinez as a fit. He's dominating in the Dodgers. He has like 16 home runs. I don't know what he's seeing, but
I don't understand.
Again, this is the exact replica of the Angels. Because think about
Oh my gosh, that's such a good comparison.
Because he had a rich owner with the Angels, Epler. Couldn't do it with the two one of the best players in baseball. And now he doesn't have that, and it's even worse. So great job, Epler.
Jeez.
Fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice. I'm an idiot because that's what I guess. I don't want to call Steve Cohen an idiot, but man, listen, we saw what Epler was doing.
Okay.
He had a bank. He had a Brinks truck at his disposal.
I don't think
Epler in Anaheim.
In Anaheim, yeah.
Cohen did not want Epler. I still believe that. He wants David Stern, and that's who they're going to end up hiring.
That's what we had to report today. Yep. It looks like they're going to hire him in the offseason, get him ready for the 2023 season, 2024 next season next year.
So they won yesterday. For that news, they won.
They did.
The game
They did.
itself was, forget.
And now Epler's going to have to prove because if you look at the totality of that report, right? He's definitely coming to be the president of operations.
Yes.
Now, the president is above the general manager, which is what Billy Epler is right now.
Yeah.
The Mets currently don't have a president. Well, they kind of have Sandy Alderson as
Sandy Alderson's still kind of the guy.
Yeah, but I mean, listen.
I don't know what he does.
I don't think he does anything.
I think he just gives bad advice and is like, yo, Vogelback's the guy, bro.
Yes.
Get me Danny Vogelback. Darren Ruff, he mashes lefties.
Has anybody noticed? I feel like Sandy Alderson's a worse Brian Cashman. It's like, get me Matt Carpenter, and everyone's like, what? And then it kind of works, and they're like, oh, okay.
Yo, that's exactly what happened with these trade acquisitions last year.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Vogelback was good for a while.
Yeah, it worked, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's the postseason. I'm done.
It's like I don't got that dog in me. I can't do it. I realize I'm not built for this. That's what they said.
Yes,
that's what they told us.
See, Sandy, okay. This is Sandy. You know what? It was a great comparison to Sandy Alderson. I know I'm comparing sports here, so it's probably not the best example. Dave Gettleman. He really is Dave Gettleman because Dave Gettleman was a very good. He's very good at knowing talent. Like he could find talent, like scout. That's never been the problem. It's when he has to make free agent signings or making trades. That's Alderson and what I said with Gettleman. Their problem. So if they were scouts, phenomenal. General managers, disaster. That's really what they are. They're pretty much very neck and neck.
And by the way, while we're on the subject of the Mets, they signed Luke Voit. Yankee fans remember Luke Voit.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's the savior.
It really could be.
It's going to all work out now. Congratulations, Mets fans. All of your hopes and dreams have come true. Trust me, I'm a Yankee fan.
Does anyone know if there's a chance that he plays tomorrow? Because if he plays tomorrow, the Mets are good. It's not even a game. The Mets are winning.
It's similar to what they did with Luke Voit or what they're doing with Luke Voit. The Mets is
AAA, right?
Yeah, minor league deal, similar to what they did with Gary Sanchez
Yeah.
By the way, since he left the Mets,
Yeah, he's been hitting.
Best player in baseball.
Best player in baseball. Like he's on a top 5 level in baseball since he left the Mets. He's hit like 4 home runs.
He's not a New York guy.
This is a part and it takes practice as a fan. This is a part of being a fan that you just need to get used to. Watching a player that was on your team succeed after you let him go when they've been awful. I am so happy for Gary Sanchez.
I am too.
So happy.
I don't know if that was sarcasm from Nick. I don't know. I'm not
so
sure.
gosh darn happy that he is succeeding in his new location.
For the Padres too, bro. For the Padres too, like it had to be another National League team.
That's the thing.
Yo,
It has to be on the West
It's
Coast.
like piling on in the West Coast. And the Padres got everybody.
Exactly. And they still suck. They still suck, but
They're so bad.
and they had the advantage. Like there's no pressure in San Diego. There's none.
nothing.
The media coverage is. My brother works there. The media coverage there is soft
Non-existent.
as all hell.
Non-existent.
It's not. It's fine.
Yo,
Thank
man.
you for being here.
Yo, man.
Thank you for being here. The Chargers left us. Thank God we have something to talk about. That's what it's like in San Diego.
Let's talk about it. And also, and I bring up the former Mets thing a lot.
Yeah.
I just saw Chris Bassett dominate last week.
Right.
And
we saw.
San Francisco, right? Same thing. San Francisco, similar thing to San Diego. Michael Conforto goes over there. He looked lost in his last season as a Met.
Yeah.
Lost. He looked like he forgot how to play baseball. He goes to San Francisco. He's had 12 home runs.
It's absurd. You know, sometimes it leaves you. And it comes back, and it's a weird thing to predict. But good for good for Michael. He wasn't a player of mine, so I'm like, good for Michael Conforto.
It reminds me of the conversation that Knicks fans have with Randall, right? Do Knicks fans realize, like, if we really let Julius Randle go,
we suck.
He goes to, like, Sacramento.
I'm telling you right now, I'm perfectly on board. We've had this discussion before. Had this discussion before. I'm fine. Trade him for something better.
But do you realize how much
bad we'll be? Yes, but we were bad already.
Well, okay, but let's say
we can't beat a single East Coast team. What's going to happen if we happen to get to the finals this year? We would be getting smoked by the Nuggets.
That's a fact.
We would be getting. It would already be over. It
would have been over in 3.
We did go 2-0 against the Nuggets in the regulars.
Oh,
okay, but the Nuggets in the finals. The Nuggets in the finals are not playing games.
You're right.
We would have been done in 3 games.
You're right.
If let's say Randall,
he's a number 2. He's not a number 1.
I think he's a number 3.
I agree.
I think he's a number 3.
I think he's a borderline number 1 during the regular season. But if you can't perform in the playoffs, you're a 3 at most.
I would say let's say Randall went somewhere else and he's good. What would be your reaction?
I don't care.
I wouldn't care because I would feel the same.
Okay.
I would feel the same way about anybody who has left the Knicks over the years and has gone. What's that? The kid who went to the Grizzlies, Zach Randolph, went to the Grizzlies and turned out to have a damn good career. He sucked for us.
Yeah.
Excuse my language, but you know he stunk. He wasn't good.
Yo, it goes back to, and I'm sensing a theme here, because we gotta. At some point, maybe in the week, I'll throw it as a topic, but the subject of playing in New York City with all these toxic-ass fan bases that, praise you when you have a great game and then they just bully you when you have an off game. And you better not have a series of off games because you're really going to get put in the dirt.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. This is what people need to realize. People just cannot handle New York. That's it.
Agreed.
Some people can't. Yes, that's
They can't
true.
do the spotlight.
And that's why when somebody does well somewhere else, like, example, Conforto. I'll just use him as an example. That doesn't mean he would have done well here.
Oh, for sure.
No, that's a fact.
Like, you don't know that. And by the way, Conforto went on a huge tear the last couple of weeks. Before that, he was like a 190 hitter. Like, he wasn't that good. The last few weeks, he's been great. That's why his average is high and he has more of the home runs. But he wasn't that great before that. And by the way, he would not have helped this team this year. I'm telling you, maybe more than Vogelback, but that's not saying much. So
it isn't. It's a low bar to get over.
I think I'm being fair in the sense that I'm telling Mets fans to calm down, Yankees fans to calm down, because it's a whole season. But I'm telling you right now, Julius Randle has been here for 3 years.
yeah, he's been 3 years.
And it is time. It's enough time for me to know that this guy is not he is not Carmelo. He is not Patrick Ewing.
No, he is not. No, he is not.
He's not that guy. So I'm fine. And by the way, he happens to also be the guy with the most cachet in him.
Yeah.
He had a near MVP season a few years ago. He's had a great season this year. I'm appreciative of the excitement he's brought. He's a great player. But does anybody else remember he was hurt for the first half of the first series this playoff season?
Well, that too. That's, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, does anybody else remember that he seems to fold under the pressure in the postseason? Like, can we just get past it and say, like, okay, you're not a winner here.
Yeah.
Go be a winner somewhere else. But you're not our guy. Let's find our guy. I don't know who that is, but I'm tired of paying B stars when we need A stars. That's it. Sorry, my bad.
I feel like the thing is with Randall is it's not even, if you were putting up the numbers that he put up in the playoffs, I understand you're hurt, but it's like my thing, me personally, is like effort. Like you need to, you're in the playoffs, like I need some type of effort. Like look like you want to be there, look like you want to play.
Like pretend.
Like it was a joke. Like it was like actually laughable.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with him too.
Me too. Get him out of here.
I'm kind of done. And again, it's more like the defensive effort. There's no defensive effort.
Oh my god!
There's no defense.
I was talking about his shooting. He couldn't make a shot and he just didn't care. Number one, but number two, now that you bring that up, that was bad. He wouldn't even get back on defense, let alone play defense.
Yeah, there's no defense. And listen, if you're not going to shoot well, do other things well.
Exactly.
And he doesn't do anything else well.
He's a waste of space on the court.
It's like 5-on-4 on offense.
It was a joke.
He's got good vision. He knows how to pass. He knows how to find open people. He's an active rebounder and all of those things if he's healthy. But he is a crud defender. He's a horrible on the offensive glass. I'm done with Julius Randle. I like him. I wish he was better.
Yeah,
but he's not.
Of course,
he's a good regular season player.
Well, that's the thing too, because
he's Peyton Manning before his chip, and not even that good.
Right. With all the first round exits.
Let me just say two things. Number one, you three are 1,000% right in everything that you're saying about Randall and the Knicks. I have no disagreements. I actually wholeheartedly agree with y'all. The second thing is, Randall's not going anywhere.
That's what I was going to say. And I hate it. I hate it so much.
I know.
Well,
it's.
Do you trade him? Not now, but like in the deadline.
Where?
It's not about if. That's
who
the thing.
Needs them? Because all the super teams are already built.
Portland, give me the third pick. Call it a day.
Dame's on his way out. He's not going nowhere.
I don't think so. They said they might build around him for some reason. Why? I don't know. It makes no sense.
One side's saying they're going to try to build around Dame. Other people are saying he's gone.
I think Dame is out of there.
For him, yeah.
I hope he is. He needs
How old
to
is
for his
Dame
own
now?
sake.
He's 34.
35.
Yeah.
Around
He's
there.
out of there.
He has to be.
He's going to say, get me out of here. I have dealt with your... You know what? For long enough, I'm out. I don't care what you have planned. I'm leaving. Get me on a team with LeBron. Get me on a team with whoever. But I'm not going to be here in Portland any longer.
Hey, I love how that turned into a basketball topic.
I don't know how this happened.
Because it's frustrating.
It is frustrating.
We're frustrated Knicks fans. It's what it is.
But we're also frustrated Yankees and Mets fans in here.
We're just frustrated New Yorkers at this point.
Facts. Like I said in the chat, we sold our soul for 2022.
Yes.
And 2023 it's not looking too good.
It's over.
It's not looking too good.
It's over.
But to wrap up the Mets and Yankees, so I hate that I got to Volpe, Anthony number 1, and not Anthony number 2 in Rizzo.
Oh, don't even.
Yo, Anthony Rizzo.
Where did he go?
What happened?
Disappeared.
Just vanished.
11 home runs, and then where's he been?
Oh, for his last 19, bro?
It's the worst slump of his career.
Damn.
Of his career. If that doesn't tell you something that you should be concerned about, then I don't know.
So you mean to tell me, he was having a great all-star level season.
Yeah.
The second Aaron Judge steps out.
Yeah, pretty much.
I realize I'm not built for this.
He needs the
That's what happened.
But that's the thing. He needs the protection.
That's what. Yeah.
People will pitch to Anthony Rizzo. They won't pitch to Aaron Judge.
Exactly. And when Judge leaves, it's they're pitching me like the number 1 guy now.
So looking at Aaron Judge, it just the whole situation with him being hurt off the field and being the leader of the team, it just reminds me so much of Saquon with the Giants because it's like. You look at Saquon. When Saquon's on the field, the whole game changes. Everyone on that Giants offense, they're on another level. The defense has to. It's just a whole different game when he's out there. It makes it's just that different. You take Aaron Judge, it's a very similar situation where when he's in the lineup and he's on the field, it's a whole different game. But when you take him out of that situation, it's a whole different team, and it almost looks like the emotional part of the emotions just aren't there right now. It's bizarre. It's.
The funny thing for me is it reminds me so much of the time in the mid 2000s, mid to late 2000s with Alex Rodriguez and Mark Teixeira. Anytime Alex Rodriguez found himself out of the lineup, all of a sudden Mark Teixeira was supposed to be the guy and couldn't deliver on the same level that he could because everybody didn't want to pitch to Alex.
Right.
They'd rather just pitch to Mark.
Right.
And that's how it worked. And that worked every time, whether it was Bobby Abreu, whether it was Mark Teixeira, whether it was Soriano, he came back for that year. It was always the same. Say what you want about Alex Rodriguez, but people were scared of him.
Oh, for sure.
And they were still scared of him all the way to his exit in like 2015 or whatever. Now you're looking at a similar situation where it's like, if Judge isn't in the lineup, we'll pitch to everybody.
Exactly. It changes the whole dynamic of the game. Anymore. It's crazy how one player can literally just change the whole game like that.
Insane. And the Yankees, stating the obvious, need Aaron Judge.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah. So the All-Star first ballot update came through today. Aaron Judge is leading for his position in the American League balloting. Interesting. Pete Alonso and Francisco Lindor rank second in their position each. I know what Mets fans are thinking. Lindor?
How?
I really don't know how.
He does have a lot of home runs. That's got to
be just for the name.
Yeah.
Home runs and RBIs, too. He has a lot of those.
And he's a name.
Isn't there, but
batting 260.
I understand. But I guess the name is selling.
I'm going to look something up. Who is the lowest batting all-star, like average-wise, that has ever made an all-star team?
It's got to be bad.
Because if Francisco went in right now, was it 216 right now?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah. If he goes in, that might be the lowest. That's absurd.
Hey, while you're doing that, let me say Francisco Alvarez is actually fourth among catchers.
Wow.
So that's impressive.
Yeah.
I hope he gets in. That'd be something.
That is the only reason to even watch a Mets game.
For any Mets game that I go to this season, the reasons are either Kodai Senga's pitching or Francisco Alvarez is playing. Those are the only two reasons I'm really going to Citi Field. Like, I admit it.
Yeah, there's nothing else to watch other than that.
I was wrong. Ready for this?
How bad is it?
In 2021, Mike Zunino went with a 198 batting average.
How many homers?
I got to look up this stat.
At least like...
But that's so bad.
That is crazy.
I have never heard anything like... No way.
Hey, man.
Well, he's a catcher.
Mike Zunino.
Yes.
Shout out Mike Zunino.
Oh, yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
Shout out Mike Zunino, bro.
Shout out
Mariners
Mike Zunino.
legend.
Good
Mike
for you.
Zunino.
By the way, Subway Series,
goodness.
I can't wait. Like the battle of the broadcasters, right? Gary Cohen,
right?
Michael Kay. You know Gary Cohen's going to come with the... You see the energy in that? That's great. And then you have Michael Kay on the other side.
This guy's really good.
Oh, great analysis.
He's so good.
It's great.
He's great.
That's how you break it down, man. That's elite sports breakdown.
Well, thank God we have those people in the booths. That's all I'm going to say.
I will say the Mets booth is good. The post game is horrific.
Oh, Jerry Blevins slander.
Blevins is awful. That guy's the worst. That guy should not even be near a high payroll team.
Wow.
I don't know. He sucks. He is like he's Buck. He really is Buck. Because if you think about it, Pirates are a really good team. What?
He's not.
Are you kidding me?
He's not.
Good.
The only
good
problem
team.
I have with Jerry Blevins is the tip your cap stuff.
Oh my God! I believe in this team.
To be fair, Mike Zunino that year, by the way, 33 home runs as a catcher.
See, now it makes a little more sense.
Fine.
So you're right.
It's fine. Yeah. There was a 201 on there somewhere. I don't know who.
There you go.
Shout out Mike Zunino. Man.
Mark McGuire, 201. He deserves it.
Yeah,
I'm sure. I guess. I don't know.
Let's go to NBA Finals real quick.
I have a question.
Yes.
How is it physically possible that Tyler Herro is questionable tonight?
Didn't he
break his hand like 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
When he got hurt, I still remember that Gabe because Gabe Vincent passed him the ball. Like, bro, he's clearly hurt.
Yeah,
you don't have to do that.
He just snapped his whole wrist, but like, let's give it to him anyway.
Oh, you're open.
Yeah, you're open though. You're open. Yeah.
Nah, it's not the way you're supposed to do it. But the Nuggets are 1 win away. They won both games in Miami. They're 1 win away tomorrow night, potentially. Actually, tonight, right? Yeah, tonight. I don't know. Tonight.
This is it.
Yes.
I'm sad. I'm sad that Jimmy doesn't get. Listen, I'm not saying a miracle can't happen. We've seen it happen from 3-1. But I got a feeling that this is just over. I think Jokic just has. I think he has a spell on this team. He's had a spell on the NBA for the last few years, and for some reason, no one knows how to guard it. No one knows what to do.
Hey, man. I think it's over tonight too.
He's indefensible.
Yeah,
he hits it from mid range. He spots up from three.
Yep.
He looks incredibly out of shape, and yet this man finds a way to get it in the bucket, and is a terrific passer.
Yes.
At 7'2". So I don't know what you do about a guy like this.
What
He's
can
not-
you do?
What are you gonna do?
So good.
That's Jokic.
What are you gonna do?
I've never seen someone with a shooting form like that. Like he literally like cocks it back like all the way
Like,
behind
his
How do you
head.
even do that? How is that even possible?
Looks like you're doing it like if this is grandma style.
Exactly.
Then this is
and then he
grandpa
switches it. He
style. I
switches
don't
it
know
and then
what the
shrugs
hell
his
he
shoulders.
does.
Like it's unreal.
It makes no
It's
sense.
insane.
It makes no sense. And there's going to be a coronation tonight for Jokic for sure.
Yeah.
We got
First
two.
Nuggets championship.
Yup. How about it? Denver Nuggets first championship on the way tonight. I'm guaranteeing it. Apologies to the Denver Nuggets. You lost tonight doing that. Sorry. Weekend recap. We got 2 minutes left. The Vegas Golden Knights defeated the Florida Panthers in Game 4. They lead the Stanley Cup Final 3-1. They can clinch on home ice tomorrow night. The Live Golf PGA Tour merging. Well, they've pissed off a U.S. senator. He called the PGA Tour a cherished American institution.
Oh yeah.
He's not happy about them merging with Saudi Arabia.
May I just make a point? Oh, the cherished American institution that at Augusta until around the time Tiger Woods came around didn't allow black people on their course. Oh yeah, what a cherished American institution. Get the hell out of here. Excuse me.
Cherished American institution.
Jesus.
The New York Knicks were listed by Woj as one of the most likely landing spots for Chris Paul this summer. So
Nah, that's good. That's one of the best backup point guards in the
if
league.
he's a backup,
Easily.
I'm taking that.
Easily. That's what I'm saying. There's no chance he starts over Brunson. There's no chance he starts over Brunson. As a backup, that's such a solid option.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was just say he back.
Yeah, backup. He is not in that starting lineup. I promise you.
I actually hope it happens.
Hey,
Me too.
what I needed to say. You're good.
Real quick, two last things. The Golden State Warriors are not actively shopping Jordan Poole. They are operating as if Poole and Draymond Green are going to coexist on the same roster.
What's up, everybody? It's Draymond Green.
So there you go. French Open tennis. We don't never get to tennis on the show, but Novak Djokovic got the most Grand Slam titles in men's tennis history, winning the French Open. Good for him. He can play at the U.S. Open now. There's no vaccine requirements now.
Well, thank God for that.
Good for him. Good for him.
Tennis, yeah.
No, that was ridiculous. I'm sorry. I'll rant on that. That was ridiculous. This is one of the best tennis players we've ever seen in our lives.
Yeah, but...
And because he didn't want to get a vaccine. Will you stop, please?
It's
All right,
tennis.
I'm done.
That'll do it for Sports Talk on this Monday, June 12th. For Ross Levine, Jake Boyko, Nick Ornberger, this is Joshua Umahi thanking you once again for listening to Sports Talk here on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.